In today's video, we're going to be talking about how do you actually buy and sell real estate at the same time? And what are your options when you're actually selling your house, especially in a market like this where it's so hot? So a lot of sellers are concerned about selling their homes because they say to me, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? Am I going to be homeless? My answer is always the same. No, we just have to navigate through it a little differently. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Stephanie Souza-breault, and I'm a local real estate agent here in Orchid, California. Well, first off, if you are selling your home and you're also shopping at the same time and you want to buy a new house and you want to put an offer in on something, you can actually do that. You absolutely can do that. So what you have to do is you have to make it subject to the sale of your home. So it gives you what we call a contingency. So what do we know about sellers? Well, they don't really like to accept contingencies, especially right now, right? Because it's just another opportunity for a buyer to back out. So with the subject to sale contingency, and it's basically saying, hey, look, if you need to sell your home before you could actually buy my house, then is your house already on the market? They're going to be asking that. The strongest way to go about this is to already have your house on the market and make it contingent on finding a replacement property. That gives you a chance to find a replacement property before the escrow days start to tick away. You're still in the driver's seat though. Since it's contingent on you finding a replacement property, you don't have to sell your current home until you find and get an offer accepted on a replacement property. Okay, on the flip side, say you're shopping for a house and you find one that you really want, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to make an offer on it. But wait, I have to sell my house first. And your house isn't even on the MLS yet. Well, guess what? That's going to be a problem. So because the seller isn't going to want to accept that offer, they're going to be like, oh, now I have to wait for you to put your house on the MLS? So the chances of you getting your offer accepted dramatically just went lower. So why not be proactive? So when you do find the one, you can make an offer on it and show that your house is already on the MLS. And if you already have a buyer, you can state that as well. So it makes you a much stronger buyer. So once you get your offer accepted, then the clock starts to tick on both properties at the same time. And like when you're selling just a one house sale, if you were to cancel the contract after all the contingencies have been removed, that means the financing, the appraisal deadline, and all the property inspections. So if you were to cancel after all of that, then the earnest money deposit would go to the seller and they would get that as liquidated damages. If you cancel after all those contingencies have been removed, like let's just say the day before closing, the day before settlement, you lose your earnest money deposit because you're breaching the contract. So those are super important things to know and understand, and a good agent will walk you through all of that and cover you. So now if I was in your shoes and I was selling my house, I know what the sellers want to accept. They want clean offers. They want it well written. They want it airtight, and they don't want to have to worry about other things. So putting it subject to sale of your residence, that's kind of a big deal, because if your house doesn't sell, guess what? That affects the sale of you buying their house. Okay, so now it's like a domino effect. It's like it affects three different things, three different transactions, not just the two of them. So a lot of sellers are going to hesitate to accept that, right? But there's another option as well. Moving forward to sell your house without a contingency of finding a replacement property. If you're pretty far along in your transaction, you're past the due diligence, you're past the financing and appraisal, you're going to close soon, then the seller might be like, you know what, what's another 2 weeks? They're pretty far along in the sale of their house. So they might think that, and especially in today's market where things are just flying off the shelf so quickly, they might actually say, hey, you know what? It's going to sell and we know it's going to sell. So we're okay with accepting that offer. And it just kind of depends on the seller. It depends on where the house is located, what you actually have to sell, what's the market like. Is it in Florida? Is it in Canada? Or is it local here on the central coast of California? It could be in a completely different state and they might just not know the market. And so it really takes good agents to communicate together with each other, stay in constant contact, and know what's going on so that you can guide them through the whole transaction to a clean, smooth closing. Now, if I were you and I was trying to sell my house and buy a new house, sometimes I think it's just easier to sell the house, move out, find a rental, hop into a rental for a short time period, like a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe up to even 6 months. Whatever it is, put the money in the bank from the sale of your house and just sit in a rental for a while. And you have other options now. It's super easy because you could do a VRBO, you could do an Airbnb, just get into a short-term rental really quick. Then when you actually find the house that you want, you're in a super strong position because it's either going to be an all cash or a super strong loan, and it's not contingent, which means that you have more flexibility and you could close quickly. So that's just another approach to the process. But if you're like, nope, we just really don't want a rental, we don't want to deal with that, you can always do it subject to sale of your residence as a contingency when you're making an offer on a new house that you would like to purchase while you're selling your old house. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I hope it made sense and I answered some of your questions. That is how you buy and sell real estate at the same time. Or you could just sell, put the money in the bank, and rent for a couple months, because there are so many different options now with the Airbnbs and the VRBOs. You don't have to get roped into a long-term lease like days in the past. Now we're in today's modern world. There's lots of options out there for you. So if you have found this to be helpful, please be social, comment, like, or share it with somebody that might find it beneficial as well.